Well, well, well. Here we are again. This video is for those who, maybe like me at some points, kind of lose their motivation, maybe their drive to play Warframe. And honestly, this applies to a lot of other games. Okay, but I'm going to talk specifically on Warframe because this is the most recent one I had this feeling with. I had Path of Exile 2, but because it's a new game, this doesn't really apply to it, but it might apply to something like Path of Exile 1, maybe to Grim Dawn, maybe to Elden Ring. Elden Ring it actually did apply to. But anyways, yeah. So, if you're like me, and at some point you're just losing motivation, you're like, man, all I do is log into Warframe. I just do my weekly, I do my Veil Breaker, I do my Archon run, I do my circuit. And I'm kind of like, I just don't feel like playing. I'll do this like the check marks for the week, maybe a daily like reputation, whatever. And then it's like I just don't feel like playing anymore, right? But you want to play because like you log out and it's like, man, I want to play, but it's like I log in, it's like, man, I don't want to play anymore. So what do you do in those situations where like you want to play? I mean, obviously, like, hey, if you're addicted to a game, like maybe taking a break is fine. But I'm just saying that it's like, yeah, you want to play. You have the time. I know you have the weekend off. You have nothing better to do. You want to play, but then it's like, I kind of like don't want to play. Okay, so a few things that help me with that is obviously set goals. This is just like a life tip, whatever. Set yourself some goals. So recently I made a brand new account, okay, which is messed up. I was getting a bit tired of Warframe, so I did make a new account, and that was like a challenge account, right? We did a 0 to hero, and it took me about 2 weeks to get from like basically playing solo, aside from like very few things, basically playing solo to doing a triple Eidolon hunt, right? Not a 6x3, but like, managed to kill all 3 Eidolons. Which, by the way, I haven't even done on my main account. So it's like, it's great. And I was surprised it took me only 2 weeks. So that's fantastic, right? And now my next challenge would be Profit Taker, also to solo it, which I also haven't done on my main account. I probably can do it, but I mostly try to do it for credits on Chroma, and I was like, man, this is like taking way too long. So I just like didn't bother. I got to like the last phase, and I was like, ah, fuck it, whatever. It like took like 15 minutes or some shit. Anyways, that's beside the point, right? So you set yourself some small goals of like what you want to achieve. For me, it was like learning the game more in depth, being able to do the stuff that I haven't been able to do, and don't feel like I'm carried in order to do it, right? Because like, did I get my 6x3 Eidolons on my main? Yes. Did I solo it? No, I got carried by an absurd vault that just like one shot every mechanic, right? So set yourself goals, maybe challenge yourself, maybe even start a brand new account. For me, for example, as well, the other great thing that I really liked about making a new account is replaying the story in a more congruent way, because I've been playing for like throughout the years. I played a bit in like 2013, then a bit in 2016, 2018, whatever. So kind of like come back and leave, come back and leave. And I never had like a congruent story experience. So for me, making the brand new account was fantastic. Went through the story basically as it was supposed to go, right? Within like when you do the side quest, when you do the Warframe quest, when you do the main story, what main story to do first and after. For example, I didn't do Duvir until I finished the new war, which not the most correct way, because you do get to play with the Duvir guy inside of New War. But I thought like maybe I should play it after the new war, only because of the Lotus Glove and the deal that is happening in the Void, right? Stuff like that. So that part, I was like, I think Duvir should be after New War just because of that aspect. But I can also understand it being before. So, take it as you will. But re-experiencing the story now that like I also have a broader understanding of the story, which helped a ton with the small details, getting an understanding of the timeline of what is going on, stuff like that. Like what is going on with Lloyd, with Albrecht, with what he's saying in the the 8, the Voss, the Foss, the Zata, all those the 8 symbols or whatever you want to call them, and what he's actually talking about, because I felt like not only was I not as connected to the story when I first did it, I also I had too many misunderstandings. I didn't really pay attention as much as I should have, so I had a lot of these gaps in my understanding of the story, where it's I'm listening to this, and first of all, I'm not too interested because I can't make sense of it as much. And the other thing is because I can't make sense of it, I just don't, right? It's I kind of whatever, yeah, whatever you say, bro, whatever you say, right? So I didn't really care. So for me, those little gaps, I wouldn't say ruined my Warframe experience. The gameplay is still fantastic, but in terms of just my overall enjoyment of the story, didn't help me all that much, right? Now, when all else fails, right, this is probably the thing that makes me play Warframe the most. And usually I would watch these, well, ideally maybe first thing in the morning, if let's say I have the day off and kind of get myself hyped for Warframe. But sometimes, very rarely, because I don't recommend this is it's, for me, it's too effective. But I love watching either other people saying why they're addicted to Warframe, new player videos of I just started playing Warframe, I love it, I'm addicted, Destiny player for 10 years trying Warframe, and they're losing their mind over even bullet jumping. You're man, that's the shit, that's the shit, right? So yeah, so it's obviously I just loaded these up. I haven't I think I watched a couple of these, right? I just YouTube Warframe addiction. But just to give you an example, I can't put this game down, Warframe. Now this is pretty new, 84 subs, so it's he's not a big creator, which is honestly, I love that even more. Big content creators are usually so the big content creators usually come from a different genre, and that is also interesting to watch. But I love watching new content creators who never play this, because I don't feel like they have a lot of they might, but I feel like they don't have that much experience in the gaming sphere, or especially with this type of game, and it's more authentic kind of thing. Whereas somebody who comes from 10 years of playing Destiny, it's they have a lot of comparisons, which is also really interesting to watch. Okay, so again, new player experience. This guy, I love Myelin games right now. There's another guy I watch who's still playing Destiny, which I don't know why it kind of bothers me for some reason. It's it's the weirdest thing where somebody's bro, you're trying Warframe, why are you still playing Destiny? Kind of, it's some dumb bullshit like that, and I'm thinking to myself, why do I care? Who gives a shit? Let him play what he wants. But at the same time, I have this tribalism in me for some reason, and I'm super aware of it, but it still happens. So it's really annoying. So Myelin Games, I love his new player experience. I loved his game through. I didn't watch obviously the whole 6-hour stream. I just watched the bits and pieces that were the more interesting. Warframe just keeps getting better. People who are more into the story. I love when people discover Second Dream. I those Second Dream, New War, War Within. When people experience those major story points, and you're yeah, yeah. Now you understand. In Duviri, when you do the circuit and you do the alchemy. This literally comes to my brain whenever I see somebody have this epiphany moment about Warframe. And you have this moment in the circuit when you finish one alchemy orb, and you have another one, and Teshin is now you understand. Again, I was yeah, now they understand. Yeah, let's go. Right, so stuff like this. I'm in love with Warframe. This one, probably one of my favorite when Legendary Drops played, and he had so many realizations. So this short.
This video contains Warframe spoilers.
We took our greatest,
volunteers or
When he
not,
has that
and
like
polluted them with these. Yet their minds were free of the infested madness.
that when he realized what were like, I was like, oh my god, yes. Yes, this is like fucking like a mental orgasm for me. Like seeing people like enjoy. And by the way, this is not just for Warframe. This is like for any game. Like when I used to love watching Final Fantasy 14. People reacting to like the walk in Endwalker, or like the final walk towards the last boss in Endwalker. Right, I don't want to say names because Final Fantasy 14 is like super fucking into spoilers, so I have like this mentality about it. Um, so like those two cinematics, if you know, you know, always got me like, man, I want to relog. And honestly, even right now, like I watch some stuff about Final Fantasy 14, I'm like, fuck, man, I want to play again. There's just not enough time because like there's like other games I want to play, but it's like, man, I wish I could split in like three, and one person plays Warframe, and one person plays Final Fantasy 14, one person plays Path of Exile 2. You know, like shit like that. Like I want to play stuff, but like I'm only one person, right? And then it's like, here we go, like another person who's like Warframe from someone who only play Destiny, right? Like, and they're like, I love the like losing their mind. And obviously, of course, the ones that like, I wouldn't call this like the last resort. I think these are all similar to the last resort, but like lore videos about Warframe, better understanding of like the small minute details that like even if I like for example, I kind of get the point of the stalker, but I don't have the exact details of what happened. Like he was some guard in like when the Orokin Empire was, flourishing, and then because of the Tenno Revolt, he's one of the, he might have been a Tenno, he might not have been a Tenno, we don't really know, but like he has his own personality. We don't know if he's actually a person. Based on Second Dream, he was a Tenno, and he's probably very similar to Rel, that like his consciousness got absorbed, or like he gave up his his body to become the Warframe, similar to Rel's story, stuff like that. So it's like these minute details are just like, they're really interesting, gives more perspective. And then it's like when you think about like the Jade questline, you're like, man, that sucks. Like that is actually his wife, It's like, and it's like understanding that they were people and stuff like that. And it's like, it's really fucked up, I'm gonna have to write in the title that there are spoilers here. So yeah, so shit like that, like lore videos, like about very specific things, just gets me like, man, let's fucking play, let's fucking go, right? So yeah, and again, man, find something, like if you feel like you're playing and all you're doing is giving yourself like chores, like, okay, I gotta do my weekly circuit, I gotta do my Archon hunt, the daily expedition thing, I forgot the name, like the one next to the Archon, like the level 80 thing, or 60, whatever it is, that usually gives you a ribbon something. So, and that the one that resets daily, and like, oh man, I gotta farm my reputation, like my standing with this faction. It's like, and you feel like, man, these are chores I don't want to do. The good thing about a game like Warframe, there is never any rush. I mean, shit, some stuff takes like 3 days, like most Warframes take 3 days to craft, right? Like a new weapon takes like a day to a day and a half. It's like, this is a no rush game. It is fine to step away. It is fine to miss a couple weeks of doing a circuit or doing a this and that. And it's like, oh, well, I'm not advancing, but you're also not getting like further behind of where you were. Okay, it's very good, very important to realize this. Warframe, unlike many other games like live services, is not a seasonal game. It is a game that you just drop in, play, leave at any point. Very important to understand. So if you're coming from a game, if you ever played like a game like World of Warcraft, especially retail, not so much classic, obviously. If you play like ARPGs, Path of Exile, Diablo 4, whatever, which are seasonal, there there's this notion of like you have to do it as much as possible, as soon as possible, because the season will reset. You don't want to do it at the end of the season because like you want to do it like so you have more time to play with it. You don't have this notion with Warframe. Treat Warframe honestly like a single player game. Okay? Because like ARPGs are technically single player, but like they're seasonal on the live service, right? So kind of, different. But treat Warframe like a single player game. Play at your own leisure. It has its own like mini timers, whatever. But you are never gonna be worse off because you didn't do something. You are just gonna be where you are. If you play something like Guild Wars 2, right? Same thing. It's a horizontal progression there. Okay. Now Warframe I wouldn't call specifically horizontal progression. There's an upper limit, but I feel like there's a lot of like it's a vertical up and down progression because every time you try something new, you actually go down. But for the most part, there is a ceiling, right? You can't get much better than that, than at a certain point, So you're never really in a rush to, don't feel like you're in a rush to achieve something as soon as possible. There will be stuff you miss, and that's fine. I mean, shit, my main character, I only today realized that like I didn't unlock the Archon Shard mixer, right? Like where you take a blue and a red and make a purple. Still didn't unlock it. I had that content for like pretty much a year now. Since I unlocked it the first time, I still haven't crafted that thing. I was like, oh shit, that's a thing, So there is no rush. Take your time. Enjoy the process. If you need a break from specific stuff, go and take it. And when in doubt, you want to hype yourself, let's watch some good old lore videos about Warframe. I do highly recommend the D Siege. So good. He's a great narrator, really good quality, a great like cinematic background, like that most of the time is relevant to what he's talking about. Fantastic editing, and he doesn't theorize too much. He tells you how stuff are presented, like how they are based on what they're presented. And if he is theorizing something, then he would tell you that this is like just a theory. Anyways, thank you for watching. Just want to share this real quick. It's like fucking 20 minutes. Want to share this because I do get those days where I'm like, fuck, man, it's Saturday, I didn't do my circuit. Oh my god, I have to do my fucking circuit. Like, I get those. Probably everyone does, I gotta do my fucking call. Like, why didn't you do your call? Man, it's free plat. Like, why not? It's like 60 to 90 plats of doing call, like veil breaker. So it's like, well, it's like, do I really care about it? Nah, not really. Like, fuck. So, yeah, we all get those. These are some of the strategies I use to just get back into it. And of course, obviously, like if I need to take a break, I of course take a break. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And man, do I gotta work on that other video about the timeline. Oh, shit. Alright, see ya.